can be watched later, okay? So we got our flat brushes, we've got some canvas paper, we've got our paint, and we're going to start with the phthalo green and the yellow. Go ahead, shake those, put a chocolate chip size down here. And we're going to do something called swatching. And all swatching is, my water, is putting the color down. So I'm just going to swatch this here. Clean my brush, really clean it. Dry it off. And then I'm going to swatch the yellow. And I'm going to write their names. So this is phthalo, P-H-A-L-O, green. And then I'm going to put a plus. And this one is, we'll just call it yellow. It's chrome yellow, but it's just yellow. Okay, and what do they equal? Well, mix them together. Okay, so take your yellow, put it over there, clean it, dry it, mix some green in. Mix it together. And we're going to call this grass green. So this is the green, the phthalo green, and the yellow make grass green. And swatching is something that artists do with almost every medium. And basically it makes it so you don't have to remember. When you come back in 2 days or 2 weeks to paint, you know how you got your green. You don't have to remember, it's just written down right there for you. Okay, it's your notes, it's your artist's notes. And it's very common for artists to do. It's very helpful. If you don't swatch, it's going to be hard for you to remember everything. Who wants to remember all of this? But this is something almost every medium does. Colored pencils, watercolor, oh goodness, pen and ink, probably not ceramics, okay, but they do write notes. So what we're going to do is then we're going to take our grass green and we want to take some of that right here and make a new little pile of grass green. I took about half, so half of it's still there, half of it's over here. I'm just kind of getting it out of my brush, cleaning my brush, and we're going to add something to grass green to make it brown. And what we're going to add is our red. Okay, in our set we have, it's called fire red. You don't need very much of this. So I'll just put my swatch of red down here. Take some of my red, gonna mix it into this grass green. Start with a little less. You're gonna try to get a brown. And at first you're gonna get like an army green. Not good enough, we need brown. Really trying to get that paint off my brush. Clean my brush. Dry my brush. Little bits at a time of red added to the green, make this nice brown. And you can swatch it out here. If it looks brown, you're good. If it doesn't look brown, add more red or add more green, depending on what you need, how it looks. There we go. Really mix that in. This is our brown we're going to use here. So right on top, that is so much better of a brown. That's almost like a burnt sienna brown, if you know your browns, but you don't have to really worry about that, okay? We're gonna do plus here, we added the grass green plus the red equals the brown. And most artists don't buy brown, they make brown. They also don't buy green, they make green. Okay, most artists buy red, yellow, blue, white, and black. And you'll see if you go to like an art store, they have packs of just of certain red, yellow, green, red, yellow, blue, black and white, and there's different reds, and there's different green, yellows, and there's different blues. Okay, so mix the different ones together, you get different things. So that's a little bit about swatching. Today we're going to use a flat brush. I'm just going to title this bushes. Bushes and shrubs. Okay, so the flat brush, it's really great for, because it's flat on this edge here, it's really great for drawing lines, basically. So I'm going to make a line come up here. I'm just going to make like a bush. So it's going to be kind of wider, not as much of a tree, but you can have some different branches coming up. See, I just used the edge of the brush. So we don't want down here to be touching the canvas. We want just this edge here, just touching this edge and rubbing it right along the edge like that. So this is going to be a bush here. Clean my brush. Really clean it, really dry it. Let me do this here. When you clean and dry your brush, you kind of want to put the bristles together, kind of coax them together. And so we're going to use this chisel edge right here, kind of like a line. And so I'm just going to put it in my grass green. If you'll watch up on the camera here, I'm just going to make some straight lines like that, just going straight down. Or, yeah, straight up and down. One way to make a bush. We're going to make a couple different kinds. Could be a palm. Okay, but we're using the chisel edge. This is called the chisel edge. And you notice I haven't reloaded my brush. You want to use as much. You cannot see. There we go. You see now? That's better. Yeah. Yeah. My hand was in the way. So you're just using that chisel edge. And if you'll notice, I only loaded the brush to right about there. It's hard to see on camera, but there's no paint down here. No paint down here. It's just all on the edge there. So I'm just going to do the right side of this bush with the chisel edge, and we're going to do the left side of the bush with a different edge. Okay. Okay, So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to splay our brush. We're going to splay our brush, which means that we're going to gently separate the bristles. And this kind of naturally happens when a brush gets really old. You might, it kind of looks like it's like fuzzy hair, right? Like all kind of ratty and stuff. But we're going to use that to our advantage. You don't want to damage the brush, but I'm just gently separating out the bristles here. And I'm just going to put the tip in my paint and I'm going to pounce. You see, I get a different look here. Same brush. Oops, don't drag. That's a no-no. Just pounce up and down. You see, I get a different look for a different kind of bush. I don't know. This might be like a rhododendron. No. This is more like a, the name of that. I'll think of it in a minute. Hydrangea. If you're into plants, go right on top of some of the branches. Just barely touching down the tiptoes like a ballerina. Blade brush. I'm going to clean my brush, and when I dry it, I'm going to try to unsplay it. I'm going to try to kind of put the bristles together. We're going to do another bush over on this side here. Get some brown, make some branches. And this time we are going to use the flat edge. So this is kind of what I've been telling you all not to do. You're going to load your brush by tapping flat like that. See how much I've gotten on my brush here? And you're going to just flat. Just going to lay it down. You're going to go all over. And if you at home have a filbert brush like this, these are great for this type, this flat edge. And so I'm just kind of bending the bristles a little bit, loading up my brush, and going right over the branches. This reminds me of like a rhododendron. What I sometimes do is I'll take this green and just to add a little variety of color, I'll put in just a little white on top, like a highlight. Take a little white there, the tiny amount. Make it a little lighter. Put it on top. I'll make it a little bit more opaque. Should have a little variety of value. If not, add a little bit more white. There we go. This is called a flat edge. And that's where we're going to end our learning today. So make sure you get all this before you leave.